What's up, SJU? It's Friday, it's the internet, it's ScreenJunkies. We're pre-taped? I'm Joe, that's Dan, Spencer, Roxy, Striar.
I got a last name, suck it.
Yeah! You have no more names. A man has no name. Guys, we're talking, it's Fan Friday. Ooh. So this show is entirely powered by you. Thank you so much. We had a bunch of people ask us questions related to the concept of good, bad movies, so we're gonna do a deep dive on what makes a good, bad movie today. We're talking some other stuff. We're talking about the paranormal. We're talking about micro-budget films and if they have a chance in Hollywood anymore. We're gonna talk about biopics we'd like to see. I'm definitely gonna lose control of this pen at some point and it's gonna hit that monitor. And we're gonna talk about movies that we're ashamed we haven't seen yet.
Whoa, watch you point that thing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm putting it down. So let's jump into it, guys. What makes a good, bad movie? Carl G asks, what makes a good, bad movie fun, like The Room, and not just miserable, like the 50 Shades movie? So let's get, before we get into like our favorite good, bad movies, let's get into the concept. Like, what makes a good, bad movie?
I think there's a certain level of ignorance and almost good intention that goes into a good, bad movie. Naivete, often.
Yeah.
I think the bad movies are the ones that are either studio, whatever, you know, they did an adaptation of something that was already terrible and they knew it was bad, and or just, you know, something that's kind of muddled in the creative process. A good, bad movie is a very special thing. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you can't go out there trying to make a bad movie. You have to actually think that you're making an amazing movie. And that's what makes
that
it.
does make a good bad movie. I will say there is a category of films that are in on the joke that aren't bad. Sharknado 1, like Six String Samurai, stuff where it's like they are doing a homage to things they love, and they know that they're not making a good movie, but like they're just focusing on the fun parts, just the parts that they want to recreate that they love. They're not going to give you a good plot or character.
Yeah, I've seen people count things like Last Action Hero and Army of
No,
Darkness
that's just
and
a
stuff
good
like that.
movie.
Yeah, those are movies. They're very like they're fully aware of, you know, what they're doing. Roxy,
To me,
what's a
it
good, bad
comes
movie
down
for you?
to two things: laughter and action. And And those are what end up making a good, bad movie. Because if you're a bad movie and I'm not laughing or you're not action-packed, you are a bad movie. I don't know any bad movies that I think are good, bad movies that I'm not actually like laughing at, with, or excited by some sequences.
Yeah, it's somewhere, there's like a Venn diagram, and it's like creator intent, which was, you know, the naivete that they were doing something good, like this is
the best ones are the
incredible,
earnest ones.
Yeah, the earnest ones.
They're like, we're making the best action movie of all time, and it's Miami Connection.
Right. And then, which is an amazing good, bad movie.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then like Roxy said, the audience reaction, that like level of like bewilderment that you have that this is happening, that you're watching this, that someone like from beginning to end was like, this is a fantastic idea. We're doing this, we're nailing this. So Panther asks, what are your favorite so bad they're good movies?
Mine is Miami Connection, for sure.
There's so much that makes Miami Connection good.
Yeah, if you don't know, well, it actually has been a minute since I've seen the plot, but I'm pretty sure it's about a traveling Taekwondo rock band. Their hit song being Against the Ninja.
Yep. Checking a lot of boxes right now.
What does Against the Ninja sound like?
Against the Ninja. What else are we fighting for? Taekwondo. Regardless, they've obviously some ninjas happen.
As they do.
One guy has a random subplot where he's reunited with his father via the mail, and just look up the trailer to Miami Connection. You won't be disappointed.
I have two. Well, I have three. Two environmentally based ones. Obviously, The Happening. I don't care what M. Night Shyamalan says. It's revisionist history. He was not trying to do a riff on the B movie. It was not tongue-in-cheek.
No.
It was not. I remember when that movie was coming out, and I remember how he was hyping it, and I remember everyone else was hyping it. I love that movie.
Yeah, it was not a drama with the power of Tennessee Williams.
No.
Hilarious comedy.
No.
No.
Birdemic. Obviously, that is, again, somebody very convinced that they're making an amazing polemic about the dangers of the environment and what's happening, and it is astonishingly awful and astonishingly amazing. And then one that's sort of like Miami Connection is one called, I'd never heard of it, and I saw it. I had a friend who was doing a birthday party and showing like some of these types of movies. And I think there's other sites and stuff that have talked about it, but I discovered this completely out of the blue. It's called Gettavon.
Oh, Gettavon, yes.
Which
the lawyer self-financed?
Yeah, exactly. It's self-financed. It was self-financed by a local Los Angeles lawyer as a picture for him to star in. And it's called, I think there's another name for it, but the original title was Gettavon, which is Get Even, but there's no space, so it's just Gettavon. And
clever.
He casts himself as like a ninja assassin country music star
who loves the ladies.
It is
it's insane,
incredible and awful and amazing. And again, it had that passion behind it of just like, this is the best thing that I will ever do, and you can't hate those movies.
It's like if you had a Steven Seagal movie, but then pulled somebody off the street to play Steven Seagal.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, it's like the what's the musical version of Point Break?
Yeah,
Point Break Live. An audience member plays Keanu. Yeah, it's like the movie version of that.
And there's also, I haven't seen anything but the trailers, but the filmography of Neil Breen is something I'm interested in investigating. He seems like another one of those guys.
People shouted us to do Neil Breen stuff a lot.
Yeah, and I just saw him like hacking the Pentagon from like his Toyota Tercel. It just seems like there could be some good stuff.
My question with him is like, is he in? Like, does he get it? Now is he current Tommy Wiseau,
or is it a Tommy Wiseau where he didn't get it and now he gets it, but does he?
So I think the room has to be one of the answers to this.
Oh yeah,
Like it needs to be the OG of this. I mean,
it's a crown jewel.
Yeah, come on. And then I think a lot of musicals get away with this sometimes. For me, like Rock of Ages type things, where I'm like, woof, yes,
that's solid.
Give it to me.
What's that weird Repo, the genetic weird rock opera that Paris Hilton was in?
I missed that.
It's called Repo, the Genetic Opera.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like crazy. Like you watch that movie, it's so weird.
How did I miss that one?
Jump back in and find that one again. Mortal Kombat's one that I rewatch a lot, where they were like, we're gonna make a dope martial arts movie.
There's some really cool fight scenes in that.
Yeah,
the Scorpion Johnny Cage one's great.
Yeah, there is actually.
What is that doing in this movie?
Yeah, you're like, wait.
And then I think horror has its own separate things of like a lot of the sequels are, but that goes to intention. Like I love the Final Destination sequels. I don't think that they're great movies, but I don't think they were trying to be. So I think that's a different kind of so bad it's good in the sense that like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, we know full well that we're making.
Later Friday the 13th movies knew what they were doing. Jason X is not a good movie, but it's also a movie where somebody, he freeze dries somebody's head and smashes it. Like I feel like they partially knew what they were doing with that movie.
How many scary movies did we get?
17?
Oh, those were just bad for me. Except for the first
Towards the end, I thought they were good, bad.
Yeah.
Towards the end,
what are you guys
doing?
I left before the end.
Yeah, got out of that theater.
Take a strong hand.
Masters of the Universe is one for me.
That's a good movie.
Masters of the Universe.
The original Masters of the Universe. Gwildor.
Gwildor.
Just everything about that one, from the fact that they were like, well, we've got to reuse Universal. Cyborg. Jean-Claude Van Damme's Cyborg movie. They like reuse set pieces and stuff from that. Or is this the other way around? No. Cyborg is a sequel to was supposed to be a sequel to Masters of the Universe.
Cyborg took the script from Masters of the Universe.
But just the weird characters, and they earnestly, I think, thought like this is gonna make Dolph like an even more massive star, and this might be a franchise. And
that's again, they were convinced that this was gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Which when it's not, actually makes it more compelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what you were doing there. I don't know why you did that.
But
I don't know why
done.
you made that choice. Why is most of it in the current time? Why do you not use almost any of the He-Man characters other than like He-Man and Man-at-Arms?
Yeah.
And Skeletor. And then kind of like you have like approximations of like Beastman and Evil Lyn. Like you have characters named that, but they're just sort of minions. And then you don't have Orko, but you put Gwildor in, and you don't. Wow, there's so
I do
much
think there's a subcategory
movie.
of these, or a different one of this is going to be a huge franchise movies. Next to that is this is going to win Oscars.
Yes.
And I will definitely put Collateral Beauty in there. Yeah. I will put The Book of Henry in there.
Oh yes.
And the other Will Smith, 7 Pounds.
Yeah. Oh God.
Ernest.
The one he did on Netflix.
Bright?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bright's.
I think they thought that was gonna be better.
They
than
did
it
think
was.
definitely.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Oscar worthy, but
You know
But,
what?
like this will be and it is a franchise though. They're making
making a
another one.
second
Yeah, God. You know what?
Bright
I
2,
think
Electric
once I
Boogaloo.
get some time away from just how angry I was at how bad Bright was, I will recognize it as like a man. They really thought they were nailing this.
Or Cop.
what do you guys
swing.
think? Do you think
Cop.
Suicide Squad would count as a good bad movie?
Not for me.
Because we didn't get to the good part for you.
It's just for me, it's just incompetence, and incompetence alone does not, for me, make
That dance.
that was just a
Enchanted
chore
Stare.
for me.
dance, though.
It wasn't. It didn't have that endearing quality. That was just a mess. It was a mess of studio notes. Like I think it's just missing that certain spark of.
One person's terrible vision.
Yes, one person's
Yeah.
terrible vision. That
too
was
many
47
cooks.
people's
Yeah,
visions.
like Young Guns has that like spark of like someone thought that this was gonna be like the greatest Western ever made. Like here comes the Brat Pack, and then it's just oh god, it's so rough.
I forgot where I heard it, but someone was saying they should remake Young Guns every 10 years.
Yeah, I think they should with whatever the current crop of
Yeah.
they should make a new one that's like Zendaya and whatever young children are popular.
Zendaya and other children.
That's me trying to
Zendaya
get them
and
to-
other kids that are neat. Ha!
What's his name? He
You know.
in the surfer movies, and also like he made
Well-
really, Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Oh,
Zac
okay.
Efron.
Well, at first I was
Surfer
like,
movies.
The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody kids, but then I was like, I don't know how old that reference is
Yeah,
now.
right?
Those kids might be 36
Is
years
Ansel
old.
Elgort already old? Like,
yes, I
Yeah.
think he's too
anymore.
old to be part of the Young Guns.
I guess Zac
Dang.
Efron is too.
They're the Miss the
Yeah.
Boat Guns.
The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, are those the kids that are on Riverdale now?
I
That's
think
the
so.
Sprouses?
Yes, I
Maybe
believe
question
that.
mark?
Cole and Dylan
Yes.
Sprouse?
Them Sprouse boys.
Yeah.
Them Sprouse
Yeah, they're too
boys.
old. We're too old.
That's a shame. Yeah, because you would have credited them as the Sprouse boys
Yeah.
if they were in Young Guns.
Oh, there go the Sprouse boys.
Oh, them Sprouse boys.
Riding into town. Hide your daughters.
And then Joshua S. asked, "Has there any?" He said, "My parents forced me to watch Gotti.
Why?
I'm so sorry.
What'd you
This
do
is
wrong?
very important.
Did they catch you smoking a cigarette?"
Is your last name Gotti?
Is Travolta your parent?
What was a
Yeah.
bad movie you were forced to watch?
I don't think
tough
so.
one.
My
Like,
parents
forced?
wanted me to watch really good movies.
Because
Have you ever-
this is not a complaint.
Okay.
But because I review a lot of movies, there are many bad movies that I am obligated to watch.
Yeah.
I would
you
have,
have some occupational
I would have
hazards?
legitimately walked out of the last two Transformers movies if I
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
had
But
to
your
review
parents
them.
didn't make you do that.
Well, it just said what was the bad movie you
Yeah,
were forced
has
to
anyone-
watch.
Oh, okay.
So let's reframe this one a little bit. Like, have you ever sat down for a movie that like a significant other or a friend was like, "This is gonna change your life. You're gonna love this," and then you just sort of had to
This is
sit and
effing
go,
Phantom Thread for me.
Here we go.
The
I'm not
controversy
even
returns.
gonna rise to that.
Yeah, we've already litigated this.
Get on my level
see my remarks from almost a year
from
ago.
previous videos.
Yeah, I guess no one.
This thread is closed.
I've never
In a
been
phantom
subject
way.
to that. I feel like I've done that to other people, and not even bad movies, but
Where
just
you're like,
things that
"Eh?"
were not their cup of tea. And but yeah, my parents, like my dad, falls asleep in the first 5 minutes of every movie. So
Yeah.
and yeah, my mom hasn't made me watch a dud. So I'm gonna recuse myself from this one. Luckily,
I had to reverse one of these in high school after South Park had come out. Then eventually you learned about Cannibal the Musical, and you learned about Orgasmo. And so I had rented Orgasmo and was watching it and thought it was hilarious. And to me, I was just like, well, this is the funny comedy movie that I rented, and made no thought of the fact that like I should take it out of the VCR or like hide it away. So my dad called, like he's furious, and he like calls me upstairs and he's like, "Hey, if you're gonna watch porn in my house, you want to at least be a little smoother with it?" And I was like, "This isn't a porn." And he's like, "It's called Orgasmo. I'm not an idiot." And I was like, "It's not. It's a funny comedy." And so like I just had a battle of wills with my dad as I like forced him to watch Orgasmo with me.
oh god.
Yeah, it was.
So you
And
were
he
the
must have
force.
thought you're like, oh god, he's calling my bluff. I don't want to watch porn with my little son.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna turn it on.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, Dad. I still apologize for that one sometimes. Yeah, I think yeah, that's the good. What's the best good bad movie of all time? Is it Troll 2? Is it The Room?
I mean, the perfect storm for me is The Room.
Yeah.
As far as budget, ego.
Yeah, that's a big part. Like
Ego
the
Pose.
concept of just like, this is my masterpiece.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys see the Best Friends or whatever it is that they made?
Best Fiends.
Oh no,
Not
yeah.
yet.
I haven't seen it either.
The only follow-up thing I've watched was the thing where he played like multiple people in one apartment. Neighbors. The like series that he made, and that was definitely
Tommy made.
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
that was definitely he's in on the joke now, and just
And then it's
See,
not
then
fun.
it's not
yeah, and then it's not
Yeah.
fun.
I recommend Tommy Wiseau's Film School, a video right here on Screen Junkies News.
Oh, that's right.
I do as well. That is a very strange video. He made me stretch and do breathing exercises. Whew, that was a weird day.
He sold us underwear.
Yeah, he sold us underwear and had some interesting demands.
Like the underwear he was wearing?
No, on
No.
his website.
He's big on his underwear line.
Yeah,
he
he has an
plugs
underwear
his
line.
underwear line
Oh.
a lot.
Yeah.
I saw him at a convention selling underwear.
Yeah. You'll be very comfortable. People.
Very
hi,
nice.
underwear.
Men and women all think it's sexy. Andrew asks, since it's almost Halloween, have you or anyone you know experienced something paranormal?
Ooh.
No.
No.
Really?
Yeah, no. I mean,
Okay.
people I
Not-
know say they have, but no.
Not directly, no.
Yeah.
The weird thing is that my grandfather and I apparently have the same favorite number,
Whoa.
but I don't really remember him, so it's one of these weird things where it's like we both
Is
like
it
the
a
same
1 through 10 number?
No, it's 35.
Oh, okay, that's
Whoa.
more.
And we both apparently were big on the number 35, but I was never at a point where he could have influenced that.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
the
weird.
only that's the weirdest thing. It's just like, oh, that's kind of, is that a genetics? What is that? That's odd.
Yeah.
But as far as like, have I ever seen a ghost or anything?
You know, I'm not gonna lie. We were looking over these questions right before you got here, Roxy, and we were both Billy and I were like, I'm very excited about Roxy's answer for this.
For
So
paranormal.
I'm sad that it's no.
I just have a feeling that you have like a kick-ass paranormal story. By the way, just so you guys know, we had a little streaming issue earlier. Apologies for this being recorded, but we went out live with our preview for about 6 seconds. And Roxy, people might want to know, what is the origin of Shits and Giggles? Nobody knows, and we
Wait,
just
was-
left that thread hanging.
So
for
that-
Were we
so
were we
that-
streaming?
we
Wait,
were-
we were streaming live.
we
when
were
we
live
saying
for
here
about
on the show.
we were live for about 5 seconds.
Cool.
And then
Holy shit! That could have.
Good thing that's
That were the
what I was
wrong
asking
5
about.
seconds. Like, all right, well.
Curtains.
Well, none of
I feel
us
like we've
ever
had this
talk crap
conversation
about
before.
anyone.
Let us know. when
Why
we're
were we ever in that position? I mean, jeez.
I
Sacred trust that we're not live when we're just shooting the shit before the
shooting the
show,
breeze around
Billy.
here.
Don't worry.
Thank
I've-
God that's what was
I
streamed.
pulled the plug very quickly, but we just couldn't get
my
it back
God.
up and running.
I'm just gonna duck under the table from now on until the
Yeah.
show's live.
Yeah.
I'm never saying
The,
anything.
the streaming buttons are being a little wonky on YouTube today.
What
so you
else?
might
Now
see-
I'm just thinking, what was I saying?
What other weird
other
shit
than
did we
that?
say?
you literally said, guys, where do Shits and Giggles come from? And
now
I think
I'm-
that's where I immediately
God, we're
realized
so
and cut it
lucky.
out.
We're so lucky.
You're welcome for
Oh
saying
man.
that. But I
Ash-
still don't know if anybody has an answer.
Yeah, I
please
don't know.
tweet-
It's probably
tweet
Cockney
at us.
rhyming slang, I think. Like
Yeah.
pig and whistle, shits and giggles.
Oh, I thought you were back to
Something like that.
paranormal stuff,
I
and I was
kinda
like,
think-
you heard a Cockney ghost?
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like those two things are more correlated than you're giving it credit for. Like shit and then.
You don't
Or
giggle
shits and
after you shit?
Right.
Like you took a particularly amusing dump?
Yeah.
Like little kids, you know when little kids go to the bathroom and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just glad I wasn't recapping
little
like
kids.
our honest trailer schedule or something, or
Yeah, I'm stuck
everything
on
that
it, too.
happens on the Schmodown for the next month, or any of that stuff. That would have sucked.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Nothing.
or like
No more.
who's on my shit and not giggle
Yeah.
list
Yeah,
this
shit
week.
and no
Hey
Nobody-
guys, before we get started, I'm just gonna review some grievances I have about our peers.
Yeah, exactly.
Alphabetical order.
Although I do want my grievances with Netflix to be known, because I'm very
Yeah.
angry that you canceled
Oh.
American Vandal,
Yeah.
and I'm very angry at Warner Media for canceling Filmstruck or discontinuing Filmstruck today. They're both on my
Yeah.
shit list today.
Yeah.
So I wish we'd have streamed that. But I guess
just
we
did.
have now.
Yeah, now
So-
we
Yeah, we have. So you got
Are
your
upset
wish.
about- were you a Luke Cage person or no?
I wasn't, but it's I just feel
Nobody's
like
too upset about
I
Iron
feel like
Fist,
this
so.
is the beginning of the second phase of the whole streaming thing, which is they've gone from we can make anything because we have unlimited money because we're based on subscribers to we paid Ryan Murphy $100 million and it's a numbers game. And I think that's what we're seeing now. Is it doesn't matter if there's a bunch of fans of these shows. It just matters what the bottom line is, and it doesn't.
There's competitive places now that people can go too. So
Yeah.
Like Fox News streaming.
guys, I got bit by a
Yeah,
spider.
join the nation.
Yeah, bit by a spider.
Yeah,
I got
don't
bit
know.
by a spider last
As
week.
we're sitting here, I think I got bit by something.
Someone told me recently that
not-
it's
it doesn't
spider
matter to me.
season,
It's
and
not
I
good.
didn't know spiders had a season, and it's terrifying.
There's the spider season.
Tis the season for
Yeah,
spiders.
no, seriously.
It's like, does that just mean Halloween decorations? Like, no, all the spiders come indoors for the winter.
Yeah, it's a real thing. And there's like a dangerous type of spider right now that came and bit Josh McCouga in the eye while he was sleeping. He woke up and couldn't open his eye. He had to go to the doctors. They
Eye
give you, like-
spider.
Does he have powers now?
Yeah, and now
Blind in one eye.
you will
That's
see
the frustrating
vigilantes.
thing. Now,
He has
yeah.
the power of no depth perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I
Bummer.
get bit by a spider, I hope. Come on, Spidey.
I apparently had a full-on fight with a spider in the middle of the night because I got bit here in my sleep, and I guess in my sleep I went, and the spider was like, oh, you're gonna go, and then just bit me 2 more times.
Dang.
Wow.
So lost a fight with a spider in my sleep. Hey, Ishmael asks, do you guys ever think we'll see micro-budget movies like Clerks, El Mariachi, or Blair Witch Project make millions at the box office? Or do those kinds of movies just go straight to streaming now? I feel like, I mean, not micro budget, but we see low-budget stuff from Blumhouse. And
Yeah. Searching was at about a $2 million budget. There have been some horror movies like The Gallows, which was made on, I think, a $100,000 budget that did really well. I mean, made like $10, $20 million at the box office. I do think that it's easier to get things made for streaming services. So I think a lot of times people might not go the theatrical route because there are so many other venues that might be more apt to invest $30,000.
Yeah, because if it's not a genre thing like horror, which theater chains know there's a built-in audience, like to just get a Clerks thing of like a bunch of people talking, you'd probably need a name for them to put it in theaters, and that's not cheap. You probably need a celebrity at this point.
What would be considered? Would it be under a mil? Would it be micro or what's?
Well, I
what
mean,
would be-
Clerks was what, like 30,000. I think Blair Witch was 15 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that I think that's like even sub 100,000 to like the $50,000 range.
But with inflation, call it
Didn't
100,000.
Paranormal Activity that had a teeny tiny budget? I
Yeah.
think that was like
yeah,
right
that
around
was whatever the security camps cost.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the last. I think it can happen, but with so many other outlets now, it's.
And more likely in genre than in, a comedy like Clerks. But
Yeah.
who knows?
Like a $30,000 superhero movie.
Sure.
Not me.
Well, how much did Super cost? That was
Yeah.
a lower-ish budget movie.
And Clerks, El Mariachi, and Blair Witch all came out of the festival system. And that's the other thing is how many filmmakers that make a movie on that kind of budget are going to go jump through the hoops of, because when they were making those back in the early to mid to late 90s, like the festival circuit was really, if you're a filmmaker, the only way to get noticed. There was no internet presence. There was no I'll sell it to iTunes or I'll self-distribute for VOD and sell it. It's like if you make a movie, you have to go through the festival circuit. And now with so many other options, like would Kevin Smith, if he made Clerks today, still go to Sundance with it and get
Put it on
noticed?
Vimeo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or would it
Or
be
sell it
like
to Prime.
I struck a deal for $100,000 to sell it to iTunes and now it's VOD and I'm
Yeah.
gonna sell it around town. This the paradigm's changed.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot.
Well, and I'd say too, to piggyback on sort of you talking about like that cultural shift in streaming now, where it's like it's names and it's bigger stuff. The festival circuit isn't for this stuff anymore either. Like the festival circuit was co-opted by studios as well.
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's now sort of a lot of it is a breeding ground for Oscars. Some of it, I think there's still a lot of filmmakers there. That
It's like
go and get
Fantastic
noticed,
Fest
but
and
yeah,
there's
Yeah,
still
smaller
things
stuff.
that-
Toronto After Dark.
Yeah.
yeah.
What Chris asked, what movie haven't you guys seen that you are ashamed of not seeing yet? For him, he considers He considers himself somewhat of a movie buff, but he's never seen classics like Monty Python and the Holy Grail or The Big Lebowski.
Two great ones.
I'll kick this off. I haven't seen Dune yet. I've never seen.
David Lynch's Dune?
Yeah, I've never seen David Lynch's
it's
Dune.
fine.
I don't think you should be
You don't-
ashamed by that.
There's the thing, you shouldn't be ashamed of not seeing a movie. There's so many movies.
There really
we
are so
all-
many.
There are a
I
few.
have one though. Matrix. I haven't seen The Matrix, and
Really?
that one's very.
It's like hard to avoid though.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm kind of ashamed, and it comes up like all the time.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
like, sure.
But at this point, I'm kind of like the girl who hasn't seen The Matrix, so
It's your brand.
I don't mean it to be, but it's like if I'm gonna watch it, I'm not gonna just be home and casually put it on. Like I'm gonna make a to-do. Of
Did you
it.
watch the
Yeah.
sequels? first?
No, I haven't
Okay.
seen any of the Matrix movies.
We're gonna have a party
and
where
done is
everyone
fine.
wears black. And,
Yeah, but I know
yeah.
anytime I reference the pills, which pill color and all that, like people reference the Matrix in casual conversation, so I feel like I know enough that or like when people go all the way backwards or whatever.
I like you just going into Matrix conversations like Poochie the dog with sunglasses though, and you're just like, timing those bullets, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I see the code. And everyone's like, yeah, Roxy, we know. Sure.
Maybe I
we
should
know.
just watch it.
You should just watch it.
I don't
Just
know.
rip that.
Is it
just rip
good?
that Band-Aid off.
It's
Okay.
amazing.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
good
Don't
action
bother
movie.
with the sequels though.
Okay.
Just end it after the first one. There's really
Yep.
not
And then write your own ending in your
write
head.
your own.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to. The movie ends. The movie ends perfectly well.
Well, yeah,
He's
you
gonna-
kind of want to
well,
see what
whatever.
happens next.
Don't spoil it.
I think it's
It just
pretty
came
clear
out.
what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And then two
not
more movies
that.
come out. And not only do they not give you what you think is going to happen, they do it in the most overwrought, overwritten, and
I guess you
overly
guys
elaborate
just don't
way
like raves,
possible.
but cool. Spencer, what's your blind spot?
Gosh, I mean, the problem is like I've made a concerted effort to go in and fill in a lot of the gaps of classic film. I'm sure there's dozens of movies I haven't seen. The next one on my list, because I'm such a comedy fan that I haven't seen, is Young Frankenstein. Never seen Young Frankenstein.
really good.
And it's in there. It's right in my queue. It'll be the next one. I'll get to it the next few weeks.
Shame.
Shame, but I don't feel ashamed that I haven't seen it. It's like, oh, I'm excited to see this classic movie.
My comedy thing is a TV series, and I feel like we at least twice a month have this conversation where you'll be like, hey, do you watch Always Sunny? And every
It's so
part of
good.
me is a
Yeah.
person that should have been watching Always Sunny religiously, and I've just never seen Always Sunny.
You are that.
It's waiting there for you when you're ready.
I will
So
catch up at
good.
some point.
I keep a list because I have Letterboxd, so I'll go like every year and I'll see like what's the highest rated movie from that year that I haven't seen.
Oh, cool.
And there's a lot of them that I haven't. Like some of them are just like I could see, maybe not. But there's movies like How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda that I've like animation. Like I've never seen. They were huge movies. Never saw.
Same.
The How to Trains are really good.
I've never seen Pretty Woman.
Oh, that's a
That's a
great one.
weird movie.
That's a great
I've
one.
never
That is
seen
an
Pretty
insane
Woman.
movie to
You don't like
rewatch
it?
in 2018. I mean, it's great, but it's like, what is happening?
Yeah,
This is a
totally.
prostitute.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I've never seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which I really
Oh, that-
need to
you'll
see.
love that
I know,
movie.
like
You'll love that
I don't know
movie.
why. I think it's because it's. I just have to
You
put
have
the
to put it
time
in,
down
like you have to
do
schedule
it.
it in your calendar.
Yeah, because I don't like to segment it. If I'm gonna watch a movie, I like to sit down and watch it.
Same.
Which for Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a pretty long movie. Not that, but so I have to like find time where it's like okay, I'm 3 hours. This is my block. I'm gonna sit and watch it. It's not like a chore, but it's like I don't want to watch an hour and then go do something else and watch an hour and go do something else. So like Rocky Horror Picture Show, I've never seen. It's like you said, there's so many movies. There's movies everybody's not seen.
Yeah.
I don't like to shame. I don't think you should
I
shame
don't
anyone.
like when you say you haven't seen it and everybody's like, you haven't seen it, and it's like I just said that. I just said it
Yeah.
Yeah,
because yes, there
it
are
is.
so many movies.
It is 100% true.
But the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, you'll love. The other ones that you're talking about, I think it's good to see, but that one I think you'll actually be a really big fan of.
Yeah, yeah. I like to close those loopholes. I just saw one for the first time the other night. I just saw Poltergeist for the first time.
Huh, what do you think?
Cool.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fun
It
movie.
was really good.
That's fun.
I liked it a lot. That's the kind of horror movie I dig. All atmosphere, throwing some humor. The humor works in that movie because it's put in the right places. I still love those effects. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's sweet.
So-
My relationship with my wife almost didn't work out because the first 2 times she tried to show me the Dark Crystal, I fell asleep. And I think things were definitely gonna go very badly. Thankfully,
just-
3rd time, stayed awake.
That's the
Good for
truth.
you,
Enjoyed it.
man.
I
There you
just
go.
watched that one for the first time not too long ago.
It's beautiful looking.
It's a very impressive technical
It's an
achievement.
aesthetic marvel.
Oh,
Yes,
man,
it's
it's
a
like-
very impressive technical
Yeah.
achievement. I'll definitely give it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Joe, if I could cut in with just a little bit of news.
You
that
can, Billy
is,
Business. Is this
coming
breaking
out.
news?
You could call it breaking news. I don't think this is earth-shattering, but it is something that we've maybe have thought is now 100% confirmed. Last night there was it's award season, so there was a screening of Black Panther that was hosted, strangely enough, by Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy. She was asked about the status of that Boba Fett movie we were talking about with James Mangold. She said 100% dead.
Oh, ouch.
Wow.
She said 100%
Really?
dead. They are now completely refocusing on just The Mandalorian, which might give you a clue. They said they might back off a little bit on those standalone movies.
Yeah.
That might give you a clue where they're refocusing their efforts, which looks like
Yeah.
the Disney streaming
I
system.
mean,
So you're
she should have
saying there's
said.
a chance.
Yeah, she should have said.
100%, literally, quote, 100% dead.
She should have said we pushed it into the
So it's
Sarlacc pit,
happening.
but opportunity
Yeah.
missed. Kathleen Kennedy.
100% dead.
That's too bad, because
How
that's
dead
just
do
a
you guys
waste
think
of
it
James
is?
Mangold's time, because he's so talented, and I would have been excited to see what he'd do in that universe. But I agree, fewer movies, more expanded TV, streaming, gaming, whatever.
They have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
focus
yeah.
on Boba Fett's armor.
The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Mandalorian
Exactly.
armor,
Mandalorian.
as everyone knows.
Yeah. Roxy, are you heartbroken?
She's good.
I mean, I would have been interested to see a Boba Fett film. I know some people would not have been. I would have been, but I'm not heartbroken because whatever.
Yeah, I just would have been excited to see a James Mangold sci-fi movie or sci-fantasy movie. Because Logan...
I've heard that's a good
That's
movie.
how you win any argument around here. Just go like, yeah, well, you know, Logan.
It's probably going to have a Logan in it. Boba Fett might fight an older Boba Fett clone of himself. So
That's true. There are a lot of old.
There's a lot of clones. He loves clone
That's
fights.
true. He does. What
So-
sets Boba Fett apart from all the other clones of Boba Fett? Aren't there technically?
He's not a clone. He's a.
He's not.
Oh,
the
he
clone.
is a
He's
clone.
the-
He's a little
he's
baby
the
boy.
source.
He's
He's the yeah.
No,
No, Boba
Jango's
Fett
the
is a
source.
clone.
Boba's the source of right,
Boba Fett's a
Jango.
clone,
Right.
but Jango is just like, give me a kid that I
Give me
can
a little,
raise.
Give me a baby.
Yeah.
Give me a baby clone that I
me a
can
baby.
raise. So Boba Fett is technically of the same ilk as all the other clones. He was just raised. As,
Yeah.
But when he grows up, I would imagine he looks just like all the other old man clones that are
Yeah.
hanging around and
Old man Boba.
old man Boba.
Which I feel like the Camino in like on the other side of those contract negotiations was like, okay, so for us to use your genome for clone army, 2 million credits, and you would like a baby.
A boy. A baby boy.
Checks out.
All right.
Checks out.
Seems legit.
Seems legit. Nicholas asked, it seems like biopics are in again with Bohemian Rhapsody, the Elton John one, and he thinks an Amy Winehouse one is confirmed. I feel like I saw something about that. Billy,
saw
can you
something
fact check that?
Sure.
I saw something about that too, with that her dad.
Yeah, the
approve
documentary
about-
was really good.
Yeah.
did not approve of that one.
Nicholas's question is, which musician, dead or alive, do you want to see made? Maybe if you have casting ideas too, and which do you never want made? So let's start with want to see made. Like what musicians are ripe for a good story?
And Joe, just so you know, the family did finally, actually this just happened maybe a week or so ago, they did sign off. We now feel we can celebrate Amy's life and talent. So
Okay.
the family signed off on whatever movie they're going to make.
And then
Okay,
they also
cool.
announced a Amy Winehouse hologram
Yes.
tour.
Which is
Oh,
very
great.
unsettling.
Yay!
Cool.
Oh, her and Tupac
Cool.
are gonna burn everything down.
I think we talked about this before because I remember pitching the
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye
That's right.
biopic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, a lot of excitement, a lot of great music, and a lot of sad drama. I won't spoil it, but it's real life. Look it up.
Have you guys ever heard of Wesley Willis?
Yes.
Yes,
Rock and roll McDonald's.
Rock and Roll McDonald's. And I would play this completely straight because I think Wesley Willis is a fascinating guy. Wesley Willis was this just dude. He wasn't a musician or anything. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and his psychiatrist to work with him for his therapy, like they got him a Casio keyboard, and they were just like, write songs.
McDonald's is the place to rock.
Yeah. So like he would just hit demo on the keyboard and just be like, Batman broke into my house. He was very mean to me. What a rude Batman.
Yeah.
I whooped Batman's
Man's
ass. And he
ass.
ended every song with Rock Over London, Rock on Chicago. And he became this weird like cult hit. Like people packed in to see Wesley Willis. And I think a biopic about him and his psychiatrist like working through musical therapy would actually be like
awesome.
kind of an endearing, cool movie. Yeah. I think that could be fun.
I have two that I'd like to see, both based on reading their books. One of them would be Anthony Kiedis of the Chili Peppers after reading Scar Tissue, because he's just had like the most wild life. And I think that'd be really interesting. And the other one, although we disagree on many, many things, would be Gene Simmons, because it's just like he's had the weed.
Billy's nodding.
I mean, if you've ever read any of his books, which I've read all of them,
Me too.
As a child, he had a really
crazy
difficult life.
Yeah.
You scoff Dan Murrell, but that man has been through a lot.
I'm not scoffing, Eddie. This picture popped in my head of you in bed at night, like with your reading glasses on, like,
On power.
leaping through this book with like, okay, interesting. It's not the subject matter. It was just the mental picture I had in my head.
No, but Billy, similar to you, I've read them all. He had like the story with his mom, and it just is his life story has been wild, and he's such a strong character. His opinions on everything, and so whether you watch it, I'm not saying we watch the movie and we're like, I love that guy. I think you watch it and you're like, wow, this is interesting.
So I really want the Anthony Kiedis biopic, but I want it to be like Pootie Tang, where it's all like Sabata, dippa 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 skateboard, like all the dialogue.
California,
just delivered
California
in Red Hot Chili Peppers scat rapping.
Agreed.
I can see it.
Dippa be a star.
Man, the 1 hot minute part of era of that biopic is going to be dark.
Really
It's
dark,
going to be real dark.
Uh-huh.
The nipple ring phase is going to be that's going to be a thing.
How about when he cuts himself open and puts blood all over his girlfriend's car to like
Flip it up and put the blood on my girlfriend.
Sold.
In voiceover, yeah.
Absolutely. That's he's narrating.
Yeah.
In Sabada, Venice Beach up a crucified. That's the he's taking you back.
I like it.
Lip-a-tapa
I'm
life.
sold. I'm sold. I want that
nipple
movie.
ring.
Yeah.
The one I don't want to. I'd say the one I do not want to see. They've done TV movies of it. I do not want to see Michael Jackson biopic.
Oh yeah.
It's just not. It would never be able to cover. It would just be it could be too far into just like going like way overboard. It's just it's the breadth of it.
I think the bubbles thing sounds interesting.
Yeah, like if you want to take little portions and analyze, but to me it's just like that's that story in totem. Just like you could never do a beginning to end, which is how most biopics are, beginning to end. You could never do that justice.
Yeah,
I don't think. And it's like if you focus on one area more than the other area, then he's got the fans. You know, it's like just don't touch it. Just it's there. There's so much to it.
I don't even know what you focus on.
Yeah, what would you even focus on? I just think it would be scattered and incomplete and all over the place. And I would not want to see
it. It would just sort of be an excuse to like play Michael Jackson songs for 90 minutes.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Which is
JT says MC Hammer.
Yeah.
Thank you for flashing that.
Meteoric rise.
You want it or you don't?
He wants
you
it.
want MC Hammer.
Hammer time.
Yeah, from rapper to preacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Mace, that would be a great biopic.
Oh, yeah.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't at all.
What's yours?
That I want?
Yeah.
Oh, Wesley Willis, man.
Yeah, Wesley Willis.
That's my big rock over London, rock on Chicago. That's what the name of the movie.
Yeah.
That is the
Do you
one
think
that
that
Joe
one
Starr
day
wants.
we're gonna get an R. Kelly biopic?
Ooh.
No, God, I hope not.
Yeah.
We will get a Lifetime movie.
Yes.
Have we
yeah.
got? Has there been an R. Kelly Lifetime movie? Billy, can you look that up for us?
If it's not like specifically R. Kelly, it'll be like K. Nelly. The singer.
This is May 8th of this year. The R. Kelly scandal will be the focus of an upcoming docuseries and television movie.
Sure,
that
I can
delves
see
into
that.
to the allegations of sexual misconduct.
Okay.
On Lifetime or elsewhere?
Lifetime.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Got it.
That's
Predicted it. And I've got to imagine we've already gotten an SVU. Where Ice-T's like, you're telling me that a successful R&B singer also wants to give people a golden shower? And everyone's like, yes, T.
And there's a drug on the streets. It's called golden shower. Kids are using it to watch R. Kelly videos.
Yeah.
Anyway, try to move us on from that, Joe.
Let's close out with this guy because I think we gotta wrap it up. I don't know how long we've been here for 6 hours. Michael says, "Hey gang, who was your first movie crush? Hey gang, who was your?" I like that at Michael's Casey Kasem in my head now. Hey gang, who was your first movie crush and do you still carry that torch? Mine was Michelle Pfeiffer in Grease 2. I know, not the best movie, but I was only 8 when I saw it and she was the first celebrity I remember wanting to marry. I'm still excited to see her in new projects, even as other crushes have come and gone. Thanks, guys. Stay tuned for the top 40.
First movie crush. Get Don on the phone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Look up Casey Kasem outtakes. You're gonna have a great afternoon.
That's fun.
Go back to the top of the record, please. Talk about somebody's dog dying. Oh my God, it's incredible.
And if you want to continue that outtake kick, sub-answer before we get into this question, Thundercats outtakes, also incredible, because it's just the voice actors in characters being like, the Sword of Omens has summoned the storm of what in the hell are any of us even saying? Like, they're good.
I will add to that Orson Welles champagne commercial.
Okay,
when he
noted.
is shit-faced and cannot remember his lines, and they have all the takes.
There's a whole
And that's where
cottage
shits and giggles
industry.
come from.
That's
Yes,
definitely where
shits
shits and giggles came from.
There's a whole cottage industry of Orson Welles audio, the pea commercial, the champagne commercial.
Oh, the champagne's not Chandon. He's like slurring and falling asleep, and the director's like, okay, Orson, please.
And the William Shatner audio of him like recording. So a director made the mistake of giving William Shatner a reading on a line.
Yeah.
And he's just, and so Shatner does the take, and it sounds terrible because the director should never have given, like, I'll grant you, the director should never have given him a read.
Yeah.
But so the Shatner's like, okay, fine. Come with me as I follow you. And the guy's like, no, Bella. So he goes like, no. That's how you want it. That's how you want it. So I like your way. That's the way we should do it. He's like, no, Bill. I was just like, no. That's the way you want to do it. And it's just like, oh, the guy, he stepped on a landmine and he didn't even know it. And
so good.
Both sides are in the wrong, and it's incredible. Sorry.
And this is who we have crushes on?
Yeah. Let's get back to
Orson
crushes.
Welles, first crush.
Yeah, Orson Welles. Oh, what a dreamboat.
First movie. Crush.
I think that mine was probably Princess Bride, As You Wish, Carrie Ellis. Like, I just remember
good one.
seeing that and thinking, like, this is love.
It was my wife's too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's dreamy in that.
Mine was probably Cameron Diaz in The Mask, her first film, and going, wow.
Good call. Wow. You know what? Good call. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being back in 1995, I guess, very enamored of Alicia Silverstone. And Clueless.
The Aerosmith videos, even before Clueless.
I didn't watch a whole lot of MTV, so Clueless for me was the first real exposure to Alicia Silverstone. I do not carry that torch now, though. However, my torch belongs to another. I'm very happy.
Is it when Alicia started baby bird feeding her children and like advocating?
Well,
for
that's a fun video.
That was the last vestiges of it.
That's when you finally scratched your name off that Trapper Keeper.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Shue, probably from Karate Kid and everything. I think she's ever done was maybe one of my first ones I remember. That Cameron Diaz one is a good pull from The Mask, though.
I was also early on Angelina Jolie in Hackers. I had a crush on the girl in Hackers who turned out to be Angelina Jolie.
Yep, the girl from Hackers.
That's wild.
Michelle Yeoh was a big one for me when I saw Super Cop, and she when I saw Super Cop for the first time, and Michelle Yeoh drove a dirt bike onto a moving train. I was like, I'm gonna marry that woman.
Little window into your soul.
Absolutely,
That's great.
That's what I do live on the internet every day. Those are our crushes. Billy, what's your crush?
It wasn't.
Have it ready, man.
It wasn't Julie Newmar, but it was one of the Catwomen from the '66
Lee
Batman.
Merriweather?
Yes.
Lee Merriweather.
There you have it.
That's another good one.
pull.
Oh,
Hottie.
I forget her name too, but the woman that played Barbara Gordon in the Adam West Batman.
Oh, I had tons of TV crushes.
Yvonne Craig.
Yeah, Yvonne Craig, man. Every time that intro played and like an animated Batgirl drove across, I was like, okay, we're in business. I love this woman. Except I was like 6, so I didn't know what any of those things meant. TV crushes, Roxy. Hit us.
Yeah, so I don't understand why, but at the time I really was in love with Joey Tribbiani, and now he's just the dumbest person on the show. But I remember I just thought he was so kind and handsome. And then my biggest crush growing up was Taye Diggs and everything he did. Oh.
It's a male model.
Tay.
He did it for me. I love Taye Diggs. He was all over my wall.
Hello, baby boy.
Yeah.
You guys remember Baby Boy? Can we do it on
The
this
movie,
show?
right?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
there was
Yes.
also the song. Was that for the movie? Baby boy.
I'm just gonna say that yes, it
Fulfill my
was.
fantasy.
That was just jaw rule.
Think about you all the time.
Well, guys, I think we did it.
Yeah.
Those are our crushes. That's our lack of paranormal experience. And those are our thoughts on bad movies and biopics. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure you go Halloween costume shopping. You don't want to be caught on Wednesday without a Halloween costume when all that's left is just some like goofy, like fun autumn things because all the scary Halloween things are sold out.
You don't want to go to as a scarecrow.
Not again.
Or a
Not
pumpkin
again.
head.
Never again.
Unless you want to be a scarecrow, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, we won't judge.
What if you're doing like a whole Wizard of Oz thing?
Well, then that's
Yeah, if you're
different.
doing a
Obviously.
group costume, sure.
Just
sure.
say
Obviously.
everyone else bailed.
Yeah.
You're just the scarecrow.
Lonely as scarecrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
If I only had some friends.
Bye, guys.